All right. Welcome, everybody. This is our 15th general meeting. We haven't met in a while due to, honestly, finals, subscale launch, and just a cancellation of a meeting. So there's a good bit to update you guys on. So moving forward for the agenda today, we have our subscale launch. We had a very successful subscale launch. So we'll be going over some photos from that, talking about it a little bit. We also got our PDR score, so we can see how we did in comparison to everyone else. We'll also be going over the GoFundMe again, sub-team updates, what everybody's working on, and then last but not least, the closing statements. So, subscale launch. As you guys heard, if you guys pay attention to the Discord, we had a very successful subscale launch, other than the fact that we hit 9,000 feet. These are some of the photos from the day. This is us carrying the subscale to the rail. You can see people in the background walking. This is us after we recovered the subscale. Took a nice group photo. This is us with the subscale on the rail. So this is the launch rail itself. This is, I believe, the 20-foot launch rail. So it's slightly larger than the one we would be using in Alabama. The one in Alabama is 17 foot. So it's just something to keep in mind. Thank you to everybody who came out and helped with the subscale. And there's another photo from the launch day. But yeah, overall the subscale went really well, other than the fact that we went too high, but we'll be going over why that is shortly. Moving forward, we have our PDR score. So first of all, I'd like to say good job to everyone on the team that worked on the PDR. Overall, we did really well. So on this column, you can see the score we earned and the score possible, and then the score weight, and then the actual points earned. Okay, so for most categories, we did really well. Some of the categories we could improve upon. Our fly sheet, we got a 5 out of 7, but still really good. Our launch vehicle design, we got a 6 out of 7, still really well. Recoveries design was a 3 out of 4, still great. Mission performance was a 5 out of 7, good. We could improve. Payload design for the payload team, you guys got a 6 out of 7, which is really good. And now the section that really hindered us the most was safety. We had our safety officer identified, which gave 1 point out of 1 point, but our analysis of failure modes, we got a 2 out of 7 for that, as well as personal hazards. And then we got a 1 out of 7 for environmental concerns. So honestly, this was our biggest source of points lost. So it's something we really need to improve upon. It's something, if I'm being honest, every year NSL team has struggled with safety. So we're going to make that a focus point coming up on the CDR. I've already spoken to the systems team about this. Following this, the next thing that needs some work is our derive requirements. We got a 3 out of 7. Could be better. They were acceptable, but they can be better. And then our preliminary budget was well. We could be a little more detailed. And then timeline was good. We could also be a little more detailed involving our test that we've done recently. But as for our document, our PDR appearance for the document was a 6 out of 7, which is really good. And then our presentation itself was a 7 out of 7. So it was basically perfect. And then our presentation professionalism for those who presented, once again, good job. We got a perfect score, 7 out of 7. So total, we got a score of 116.55 out of 150, which gives us a 77.7%, which is a solid C if you're looking at it out of just score-wise. However, the competition isn't scored straight. It's scored on a bell curve, meaning there is an average, and the average was a 65 or a 101, 101 points. And the standard deviation for that was a 16.4, I believe. And so we're just about one standard deviation above. So we're doing pretty good. We have like a solid B minus to B. So we're actually closer to around an 83% rather than 77%. But I feel like we did really well on the PDR. So you guys should be proud of your work. But we could do better. Just little things that nicked us up, like score sheet, fly sheet, the drive requirements, and safety. But other than that, I feel like we're doing good. And we'll do better on the CDR. Moving forward, the GoFundMe hasn't changed since the last time we met. I had a pretty big increase. We were at 800 and now we're at almost 1500, which is good. So if you guys could please continue to share that, that would be great. Moving forward to our sub-team updates. So payload team is continuing to test components and working on the payload code. They have been grinding that out for the last couple of weeks, while majority of the team has shifted focus towards the subscale. PLI has now shifted focus back to full scale, and they're going to be continuing to test the stepper motor torque to make sure the stall torque value is good enough for our full scale. Structures just finished air brake component selection and the design. I'll be having a meeting with them to go over the feasibility of 3D printing their components. Analysis team has figured out why the subscale the expected apogee was off by 3K feet. Boomy, if you want to go into a little more detail, you can.
Yeah, we just figured the scale that we're using for the launch day was not calibrated correctly, so we were off about 6 to 8 pounds lighter, which explains the 3K overshoot. We reweighed the weights and remodeled the subscale and achieved the 9,000K through a different program with RazAero. So I think moving forward, we'll be using RazAero as a second or third verification for altitude while using RockSim and OpenRocket.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good. And also we're going to be implementing 2 scales for the next build days and launch day. So we have 2 different weights values, so we know that we might be off.
Yes, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yep. Following this, parachutes and avionics, with their work pretty much on the subscale complete, they're just going to begin working on CDR writing, as well as systems. So they're going to be working on CDR writing, and they're also going to be working on more detailed full scale checklist. So we're better prepared, so we don't forget the scale like we did this time for the subscale. And then outreach has asked all the team leads to please get your IG introduction video done. Quick 30-second video explaining you're on Cal Poly Pomona's NASA Student Launch Team, what your position is, what you're excited about, what you guys do. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the sub-team updates. For our closing statements, please spread the GoFundMe. CDR internal due date is December 22nd. Please, that's 11 days. If you guys don't want to work over the holidays, please try to get it done. I know the semester just ended, but we're trying to get you guys a nice break so you can enjoy the holidays with your family, so you don't have to worry about working on this. Last but not least, do your hours. And if you haven't already with your team, begin working on the CDR writing and presentation. And then last but not least, for the senior project credit students here, fall grades have been submitted to Dr. Edberg. Thank you. If you have not already been added to the spring semester, please email me, contact me. Other than that, guys, if you guys have any questions for me currently about what's going on, now's the time to ask. No questions? Sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording then.